Hi everyone, thank you so much for purchasing my budget template. So to get started, you'll see the first tab say instructions, but we're going to skip over that because this is the video that's basically following this information. So the first thing we're going to do is go to budget setup, and this is where you're going to define your categories. So it can be really anything you want it to be, and then you can just define it as a need or a want. So your needs are going to be rent, car payment, phone, electric, and your wants are going to be like entertainment, dining out and drinks, shopping, any beauty treatments, etc. Then you're going to input the monthly budget per month. And then that's pretty much it for this tab, and you only have to do this once. And if you ever need to come in here and add more categories, you can certainly do that. The second tab that you can fill out is the net income tab, and this is where you'll be inputting all of your income sources. So if you are a 2-income household between you and your partner, you can input your salary, their salary, and any additional side income per month. So you'll have to do it per month because sometimes people get raises or bonuses or switch jobs. So that input needed to be done at the monthly level. And then the only time you'll ever have to do this is your annual savings goal. So if you want to just kind of gut check and add an annual savings goal in this particular field, then it will come into play later in the document. And then the only other inputs that you'll need for this budget tracker is the expense file. So this is where you'll be updating this weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. How I do it is I put everything I buy on my credit card and then pay it off every month. But then I'm able to access my credit card account information, and so I just split screen and input all of the expenses with the purchase item name. The description doesn't matter, you can put anything in here, and the amount, and then you will have to define that particular field as a category, and then also the month of purchase. You will also add on here the last day you updated the document. So, and then that's all you have to do. Then you can now start analyzing your information. So this is the monthly tab, and this breaks everything by category down by month. So if we're in, let's say we're at the end of March here, and we can quickly see that we overspent in vehicle, entertainment, dining out, shopping, and beauty. So, however, if you look up here, because our income is relatively high, that we were still able to achieve a 35% savings rate, which is pretty good. And then all that information flows into the dashboard, and this is kind of where you'll be able to see everything all at once. So this updates to the latest completed month. So if you're inputting expenses for April 12th, for example, this information will be January through March. And then if you're doing it on July 7th, for example, it would be January through June. And it all updates automatically. The only thing you have to be sure to input is this last updated field. And then these are your measurements. So for the past 3 months, we've had a $14,000 in net income, $9,700 in expenses. It shows you the savings. It is showing you what percentage of your net income you're spending on your wants, how much you're spending on your needs, and how much you are spending on your savings rate. So a really good way to just kind of gut check to make sure that we're not, spending a little too much on our needs. And then these are written statements, and you'll see there's a lot of pretty intense formulas in here, and these will update based on the inputs from other sheets. So you can see month to date, we don't have any expenses uploaded for April yet, but you'll see that your last input was April 5th, but you should have, because that's when you last updated it. but then you would see how much you've spent so far in the month versus how much you have remaining in the budget. Year to date, you'll see the summation of how much percentage of your income is spent on your wants and on your needs. And then it also tells you your savings rate, which is on track with the recommended 20%. And if this ever went below 20%, you would notice that the sentence would switch over to, which is not on track with the recommended 20%. This tells you, as of the last 3 months, you have spent the least in January and the most in February. So this will give you your min and max in terms of spend for the total months. Over here are what we call insights and actions. So based on the last 3 months, these are the 5 categories where you're spending more in expenses than you are for your budget. So for this particular one, our worst category in spend versus budget is our dog, and we're overspending by budget by 91%. So these are just ranked in order, and this is kind of telling you, let's try to, in the next couple months, start paring back on these particular categories. And then based on your savings rate, which is right here, this will tell you if you are on track or not on track to be hitting your savings goal by the end of the year. So if we're tracking halfway through the year and you're only hitting 25% of your savings goal, then this will say that you're not going to hit it based on trends. And then this is my favorite line. This is telling you how much money you would make if you invested your savings instead of just keep it in a bank account. So based on an average 8% rate of return in 10 years, granted I'm saving $1,600 a month, I will have almost $300,000 in 10 years and almost $940 in 20 years. So that just hopefully reinforces the fact that we should all be investing our savings as long as we have an emergency fund. And then these are just quick little graphs to be able to visualize your data. So this is your savings rate trended through the year. So in February, I didn't save as much as I would have liked versus what I've been doing in January and April. However, all 3 of these months are above 20%. So I'm kind of okay with that. Which categories you're currently overspending? This is just visualizing what you have written here in the top 5. And this will adjust. So if you stop spending on your dog and all of a sudden another category pops up, it will replace the dog, but this will only default to the top 5. This one is showing how much you are spending each month, and then anytime you overspend on your budget, a little red bucket will pop up here. So the reason why there's nothing in January and March is because we didn't spend over our budget. And then the last section here is all of the categories. And again, none of this requires any manual inputs from you, only the budget setup, net income, and expenses. And this is kind of year to date, what you're budgeting, what the actual is, and what the difference. So then you can see, like, this is basically telling us those same 5 categories that we're overspending. And that will conclude your budget dashboard. And if you ever want to, send this to your partner or work on something else, you can just file print to PDF and print it out.